Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chronicles from the Cushion. My name is Sheldon Wickworth. I'm the host of Chronicles from the Cushion. I'm also the writer for KansasRacingNews.com. I got my new fancy hat on. Um, I'm also videographer for RPM Speedway over in Hayes and at Waukene Speedway as well. Um, it's it's getting to be almost race time. We're only a couple weeks out, which is kind of hard to believe. I mean, no, I don't even know what to expect because, Mother Nature just seems like she keeps throwing curveballs. So I don't know if we're going to have good weather in a couple weeks or if we're not. But I mean, we're going to go ahead and try and get the racing season started when we can. Uh, so that's exciting. Um, I guess we'll go ahead and introduce our guest tonight, which is modified driver out of. You might have to help me out, but I'm pretty sure
Spearville,
Spearville. Yeah,
Kansas.
there we go. I thought I was right, but I didn't want to just blurt it out and be like, "Oh no, that's not right." But I was 99% sure I was right. But anyway, he's from Spearville. His name's Derrick Sprott. Uh, I hope I pronounced that right. I'm
You sure
never good.
did.
I'm never good with names, but um, anyway, Derrick, I guess how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Sheldon, thanks for bringing me on. Love the Chronicles from the Cushion, so it's pretty exciting to be here.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm glad you and I kind of decided together that we needed to do this. I know, obviously, I'm gonna let you get into your career and everything. That's how we usually start these, but I know me personally last year seeing you progress um, throughout the season in your modified was pretty awesome. And I know there towards the end of the season, it definitely seemed like you were picking up speed and things were clicking. And I uh, I know you told me you got a lot of help from really anyone with Rage chassis, but especially Brett Barry here locally was um, helping you. But I guess, Derrick, you can go ahead and take it kind of wherever you want. Usually, the drivers will kind of start by saying how they got started, and I'll just be questions. And if our good old buddy Tanner decides that he wants to jump on, we'll let him shoot some
Sure.
questions at some point. But I don't even know if he'll come on for sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and start rambling. And like I said, we'll throw questions your way.
All right. Yeah, no, I could ramble forever. Yeah, I got my start into racing. My fun fact for everybody, I've told this a million times when I used to be on radio and stuff, doing my podcast at the time. I started my father's race. He's won a feature race. My grandfather's race. He's won a feature race, and even my mother has raced and won a feature race around Kansas. So uh, the family's just been in racing forever. We got started way back. Trying to remember, it wasn't. It's still with Ed Beckley, still running DCRP. He had just backyard go karts. Come down, bring your backyard go karts, and it was me. We had the Dr. Pepper special number one, Paul Zimmerman, Kenny Zimmerman, and then I think it was Caleb Rhodes still. And I think it was all four of us out there on a track, and we got started. I would say me and my brother traded off. I did the heat races, he did the feature. I would say we were eight, and my brother Brandon was nine.
Nice.
So after a few of those races, they had the sport compacts on asphalt, and that's when we finally jumped on board, and we're like, well, do we race or do something else on our weekends? And we decided that It's in our blood. We're just going to start racing. So Brandon was sponsored a car from B&S Trailer Sales, but Brian Shirley was still running the place. So he got sponsored a car, and I was also sponsored a car, but before even the first race, the lifter started rattling on it, so we didn't race it. We kept looking for more cars, and I finally found. I can't remember who we bought it from, but it was a Colton Escort, and we decided to run that, and it was a really good car. Uh, we started that. Brandon was 11, and I was 10, and Ed Beckley to make sure if I did get injured. I remember I had to sign a lot of waivers because of my groin. Uh, but I remember we raced a few years there, and then I think the second year Brandon won the championship, and I was runner up. Most of the season, I was the leading point driver, and then I got wrecked on the chute, which ended my night. So then he took over and won the championship. So a few more years of racing Hornets. Then we got into my father's stock car and my uncle's stock car, and I had a I finished with a bad wreck halfway through the season, and being 12, it kind of startled me. So then I got out of it for a few years, and probably 3 or 4 years I got out of racing, and I was just helping pit crew for my brother's sprint car racing team. So then from there, a few years of sprint car racing, I decided I wanted to get back into it again. And so then I first dug out the old 5S hobby stock car that was a cruiser car, and we raced that for 2 years. And I can't remember why we got out of it, but I decided to get another car that my grandfather thought would be just a tad bit faster, but it was not. I was not very happy with how well it was driving and stuff. So I got out of that, and then from there, uh, that's when the mod light class kind of blew up across Kansas. And I got with a couple people, the Louderbacks, great people, Colton and his dad. We got with them. He showed me their cars, their Joker chassis. And I needed to get into it. So I found one in Salina. I brought it down and got it ready. And we raced that for 3 years. And then from there, uh, the Mod Light class finally shut its doors in Southwest Kansas. It's still east, but it closed its doors down here. And that's when I was selling it and came on to a guy that had a Dirtworks modified that would trade. So I decided, well, if we're going to, I mean, the car looked good. So I decided to make the trade. And that's when we raced the Dirtwork for a few years. Uh, First year, and then halfway through had my accident, and then we started the year last year in it, and halfway through we bought a car from Brett Berry because it just was lacking the power and stuff to be competitive. So, and technology wise, this new Rage chassis is so much better. I mean, just parts are easier to get to, and there's so many people driving Rage, it's easy to get questions answered on it. So uh, yeah, excited for this season. Can't wait to see um, how we do a full year now in the Rage chassis. So
Yeah.
that'll be exciting. But yeah, no, big shout out to Brett Berry and even Clay Sellard. Had he used to be a he used to be a house car for Rage chassis back in the day, but now he's in a Razor. But I mean, his knowledge and Brett's knowledge. I mean, both those guys are awesome to talk to and everything. I mean, they want to go out there and beat you, but I mean, at least they want to beat you competitively. No one wants to beat a guy that's 2 laps down and stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, so it's really awesome uh, for them letting me borrow some knowledge and get better in the sport. So now we're here. Probably my first race I'm shooting for is April 11th. We're gonna we're not gonna be quite ready for the 3-day show here at RPM, but April 11th will be at RPM Speedway. This next week, I'm even heading up to Iowa to Rage Chassis to get some new parts thrown on and new body panels thrown on, and we'll be pretty close to be ready for the season. So exciting, ready for 2026.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I know a lot of people are getting antsy. I just attended the uh, Thomas County Speedway banquet. We had that just last Saturday, and I you can just feel the buzz. Like we walked into the uh, convention center, and everybody was just itching to hit the racetrack. And I know I was talking to Carl Red Larson, and Carl and I were joking back and forth. We're like, we got to start going to winter shows or something, because the off season just gets too long, and it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy hearing that, because we run, like Tanner and I mean, we're gonna be busy from the end of March all the way through October this year, at least, and we're still kind of acting like the off season's a little too short for us. But uh, but no, I definitely look forward to seeing what you do this year. Like you said, it will be the first full year with that Rage, and I, I'm probably biased, but I feel like Rage is one of the top um, chassis builders out there, modified wise. Um, you know, they're they seem pretty solid, and I think just from like a technical standpoint, which um, obviously I know stuff about the race cars. I'm a mechanic for a living. Uh,
hmm
don't really know the ins and outs of all of the race cars, and quite frankly, the modified rear end scares the crap out of me with all of the different adjustments that can be made back there. It's just it confuses me, and I know it took my boss Mike Boehner quite a bit to he was sitting there on YouTube, or he was calling Justin O'Brien up. For those of you that might not know, Justin O'Brien's a man behind Rage Chassis. Um, and then he's got a couple guys out there. I know for sure Ethan Braxma's in the shop with Justin, working. But I I guess I don't know what you've seen yet with Rage, Derrick, exactly. But I know it's as simple as, if my boss has any question, he can pick up the phone, and Justin O'Brien's can try and help him the best he can. And it seems like, just from a technical support and being willing to help their guys out, that Rage does a really good job uh, of supporting their drivers, because, like you said, you want to beat each other on the track, but you want it to be competitive. You don't want
yeah,
anyone to be struggling out there. I mean, and I think that's one of the coolest parts of our sport, honestly, is that that competitiveness. But despite the fierce competitiveness, there's this big willing, or this big willing to help each other out. I mean, whether it's our local tracks here in Kansas, or you go up to a big late model show, or even a big sprint car show, one of those guys pull off the track and, you know, they need fenders pulled out or a wing changed or something. It's not usually just their specific crew. Everybody comes rushing to the
Yeah.
support. And I think that's the coolest thing about our sport because, yeah, we're competitive and we want to beat each other, but, we want to, like you were getting at, you want to beat them on track. You don't want to beat them because they're struggling or beat them because they're sitting on the trailer in the pits.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, I guess, usually I have Tanner can lean on to guide us through um, things, but I guess, you know, a fun question I started asking guys last year, um, you know, especially during the off season, um, we probably all do a little too much doom scrolling on Facebook or TikTok, whatever it is that we like to doom scroll. But there's a lot of people that talk about different rituals or superstitions. Derek, do you have anything special on race day that you do or don't do? Is there any rule
Uh,
on race day?
I'm a big believer. I did have a green race car at one point, and like I said, that car was absolute junk. So I don't try to have any green on my race car. Uh, I'm gonna lean really hard into my girlfriend, Jancy. Last year for Hayes, the first day we had a really, really fast race car where we started fourth and finished second in our heat race. And we should have won the heat race. And then we go to the feature and started fourth. And we ran the whole race second until like 3 laps to go. I should have moved to the bottom, but I stayed up on top. It was working all night. So we made it to the final show. And and I told her 100 times. I said, let's not have chicken on race day. I'm a big guy on no chicken on race day. Well, anyway, she made dinner that evening because we didn't hit the track till 1 a.m. or something this year for RPM for fall nationals. And like 8 or 7 o'clock, she had dinner done. Anyways, I was eating it. I was like, man, this is great. What is this? And she kept laughing with her sister. And I'm like, what's so funny? She's like, well, you're having chicken fajitas. I'm like, no, no, we're not. Anyways, that feature race, I decided to put the wrong right rear on there and I spun out and wrecked most of my decking. Oh, I was so mad at her. I know it's kind of a mind thing, but just
Yeah,
no chicken on race day.
yeah,
And other rituals, um, I used to be big on like just having something small before racing, like eating wise. I don't like to be full or uncomfortable in the car. I know NASCAR legend Rusty Wallace even talked about this, where he had a bad wreck one time and he ate very well before that race. Anyways, apparently he was upside down and yeah, he almost died because he was upchucking, but he couldn't get it out of his helmet and stuff. So that's a big thing that I don't know. I just every time I get in the car, you always get that like that feeling where you're kind of like, okay, ready to go, but kind of nervous and stuff. I just don't like feeling full belly and in the car. It just doesn't sit right with me. So I just have like a couple granola bars or a couple Gatorades and I stay fresh. So
yeah. No,
um
no,
other than that, I just go out there and race. But yeah, green, no chicken, and yeah, try to eat white.
yeah, and that makes sense. I know my buddy Ryan Kirchhoff that drives the sport mod. He refuses to eat beforehand. Like if he can get by with not eating much, and now he'll probably get on here and be like, "Hey, you liar." But anyway, I know he tries to keep eating to minimum, and it's always nice because you can jump down to his trailer in the pits afterwards, and he's always grilling hamburgers and cheeseburgers, and that's what Tanner and I
Yeah.
we come rob food from him more than anything. But um, no, I guess I guess we can ask you the quote unquote unofficial, or I don't even know what we want to say, but the question we always love to ask guys on the podcast, which is, if you had unlimited funds and unlimited resources, what would be like the number one bucket list track to run on and class?
Um, so I kind of seen something on the old Facebook earlier this week where they're talking about how what was it? They were, I don't know if it's official, but they were kind of making rumors that INCA might try to have an Eldora race. Eldora would be pretty cool racetrack to go race INCA at. Luckily, my track that I am excited to race on is Boone, and I think if everything goes well this season, we will be heading to Super Nationals to try it out and
That's
have fun there. So, uh, if you want a track that is no longer with us, I would have loved to race at Jetmore Motorplex.
mm,
My dad was bad fast there. I know a lot of people miss that racetrack. So if I had an unlimited amount, I guess I would rebuild that track and I guess be the promoter of Jetmore Motorplex. Because yeah, Jetmore Motorplex was a lot of fun back in the day, growing up as a kid, going out there and uh, just everything about it just was so much fun. The pits were always fun, the concessions and buttered corn on the cob. That's the one thing that I miss. There used to be a guy there. Uh, he would stay there. I mean, he'd be there every weekend, and I'd go down there with, I think, corn on the cob back in the day was only like $2 or $3. And yeah, he'd be like, "You want butter on that?" And I mean, yeah, he would dunk that corn in that butter. It was, I mean, I've just been a fat kid all my life, so just buttered corn, roasted corn was awesome back in the day at Jetmore Motorplex.
that, that definitely sounds good. It speaking of that, it just popped in my head that you know there's a lot of talk on Facebook, or not even Facebook, but a question that always gets thrown out there is favorite dirt track food. But I'm guessing your favorites can be the corn on the cob. I mean, you can't beat that, I don't think. But
Roasted corn is good. I actually, when I had my podcast and I had Jerry Van Sickle on, his was, since Jerry's been to so many tracks, he had, well, obviously you had the Boone, what was that sandwich?
oh,
Oh,
yeah, I'm blanking, but I know what sandwich you're talking about. The one that,
they have a, yeah,
oh,
they have a famous sandwich there.
yeah,
But he said one of the Louisiana tracks that he's been to, he said they had like some type of like clam chowder or something that he really enjoyed. And I was like, what the
mm,
clam chowder on race day? What the heck?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I,
dicey.
I'm just plain simple. Well, actually, I do take that back. I'm not plain simple. When Kyler brought in all the barbecue and stuff at Dodge City Raceway Park, that was really good. I'm trying to remember. Oh, brisket mac and cheese. There we go. Brisket mac and cheese is my winner.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely sounds good. I'm gonna have to just stick with my old funnel cake fries. That's big one at RPM. Um, Chris and I always joke around that instead of paying me, he's just gonna hand me a bunch of funnel cake fries, and it's like, well, then that's nice, but the cash is nice as well. So, uh, but guess what else can we talk about?
Well, I mean, I guess I go into my plans for 2026. We're really not going to try to chase anything. I know we finished third at Dodge this season, which halfway through the season, I mean, that was awesome that we did finish third. But I think just this season, we're just going to race and try to hit more tracks around Kansas and try to just get a lot of seat time, see if we could do anything, improve anywhere. Um, Actually, I was talking a week ago, maybe it might have been 2 weeks ago. No, it was a week ago. I was actually talking to Alan Jr., uh, pit crew and brother of Brian Herbert, and I was explaining to him that, yeah, I'm planning on hitting a lot of tracks, and he said that's good. I mean, you could be fast at Dodge City Raceway Park, but everywhere else, if you don't go and practice, you're just going to get skunked. So he liked my idea of going out and traveling and get some more tracks under my belt, which I am excited for that because he hit Colby once last year, and man, that track was addicting, and I can't wait to go back to Colby. Colby was a lot of fun. And then, of course, Fall Nationals, RPM Speedway. Uh, for how well we did there, that track was addicting also. So I got RPM and Colby circled very much this season.
Nice. Tanner, I see you. Can you hear us?
I can. You get me for as long as it takes me to get my Jimmy John's. So,
all right.
Welcome in, Tanner.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Me and Sheldon just talking about how 2026 season's going and excited for the season. I'm kind of on the teetering point of off season was very long, but also now that I'm kind of behind, it's also very short. But very excited for 2026 season, and actually excited here this weekend to watch a little bit on the old TV at IMCA TV. We got some Beatrice racing, so can't wait to see how that goes this season and see how competitive the cars are starting off this year.
Now what's it?
Well, a little bit of technical difficulties, I see. Good thing I've been on radio, so I know how to keep going when we have technical difficulties. But no, excited for the 2026 season. Glad that Tanner and Sheldon brought me on here. Excited once again. Can't wait to see how we do in the Rage chassis. Yeah, next week heading up to Iowa to see Justin himself. So it'll be exciting to see the man himself behind the Rage chassis and get some new uh, body panels thrown on and some extra parts thrown on and just have them look over the car and make sure it's ready to go for 2026. So excited for that. And then might as well, since we have technical difficulties, might as well shout out some sponsors. Uh, First off, thank you to my family, everyone that helped me on the car, Jancy and the kids, Kinsley and Kelson. And then my returning sponsors, Salmon's Welding, uh, CS Cattle out of Nest City and Ransom. Thanks, Craig, for once again hopping on. Whipple's Transport. Tanner Whipple helps me out on the car. Well, being a sponsor, Tanner's a great guy. Strecker Trucking, Wayland's uh, on the car once again. He's actually having a blast. He's out in Las Vegas and took a semi out on to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I was reading about it in his comment section. He was allowed to hit 88 miles per hour around that track. So Pretty cool. New sponsors. Thanks to Ray. Ray, thanks again for hopping on. And then Western Fence out of Dodge City. They're hopping on the car this year. And then my final sponsor, got to thank Wicked Designs out of Belleville. Man, can they wrap some cars. Wicked by Design, they're out of Belleville. Thanks, Ryan. Wrapped my car great again. And then I guess to finish it off, Three Wide Designs out of Arizona. And also Arizona sports shirts. They did some merch for me this year. So thanks to them and Three Wide for doing my fire suit. Got my helmet wrapped this year by Wicked. So exciting, ready for 2026. And then, I guess I should shout out thanks Jeremy Hewish for powder coating some of my rear bumper and front bumper. So Jeremy with quick time powder coating in Nest City as well. So, which you'll see a little bit of him in the sprint car. So, are we back, Sheldon? Are we back?
I think so. I
There
really
we
am
are.
sorry, Derek.
No, you're fine. You're lucky. I used to do radio, so I kept the show going for you. Talked about my sponsors for the year, and then just wrapping up what we're doing for the 2026 season. So yeah, we're getting pretty close. I'm definitely itchy
I
for
guess
it. Are you back? Not back. Nope, back to me. Oh man. What else can I talk about? I guess pretty much schedule wise, I guess what do we got up first? Oh yeah, we got Hayes up first. And just basically hitting Hayes, Dodge City Raceway Park, some Walkini shows, Colby. Would like to get out to the new Stockton racetrack at some point, see how that quarter mile turns out. I know your sponsor, Bulletproof Designs, Cam Gruber. I know he's kind of ready for how Stockton turns out. Um, yeah, that's just some of the big. Lacrosse is on here a few times. Hopefully, we can make it to a lacrosse race. And then can't wait to see at the end of the year when that Walkini has the battle for the belt. That will be exciting. So can't wait to see how that trophy turns out, and hopefully we can make it down there for that race as well. But hopefully Sheldon can come on here one more time. Maybe. Well, don't really have much else to talk about. Wish Sheldon had just a few more questions for me and we could have wrapped this up, but it might have to wrap up a little early, it looks like. Okay, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in here. I guess I'll wrap it up for Sheldon. For the Chronicles from the Cushion, I'm Derrick Sprott, the special guest. Uh, oh, well, hold on. We might have him. We might. Uh, I don't think we're getting him back. Oh, I hear live.
Gee.
Well, hopefully Sheldon edits these because this is definitely going to be a non-listening part of the show. Okay, well, I'd say that's it. Anyways, thank you, Sheldon. Thank you, Tanner, for bringing me on to the Chronicles from the Cushion. Uh, Always weekly listener, and whenever you guys post a show, enjoy listening. So thanks again to all my sponsors: Turbine Barn Grill, Rates Chassis, Whipple, Salmon, CS Cattle, Western Fence, Ray, and Wicked Designs, Three Wide Apparel, and also Arizona Sports Shirts. So thank you. I appreciate it. And thanks again for everyone tuning in and listening to the Chronicles from the Cushion. Thanks again to Sheldon for bringing me on. I appreciate it. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you later.